minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Welcome to the Play It By Ear podcast. The podcast where the topics may vary because, hey, we play it by ear. And now your hosts, Aric Fiscus, Brady Liming, and Todd Griffin.
Well, hello there. It's been a 2-week hiatus. Welcome back. 162 is the episode number of the Play It By Ear podcast. Welcome, gentlemen.
Trying to get my lighting just right. I got 3 settings on this thing, and you would think I have 103 because I flipped through them over and over again.
I find that the slightly oranger cast is better than the harsh LED.
Yes,
well,
soft.
It's interesting because, like, in the summertime when it's still daylight, I have more light peeking through than I prefer for podcasting. So we'll go with that.
Before we go any farther,
Mr.
Devil Bliss, the historian, will you send me a direct message with your phone number so I can jump you into a couple things? I've been meaning to chat with you.
That sounds underhanded.
Don't do it, Chris. Don't do it.
Hello, Savannah. Welcome. The aforementioned historian is here, Mr. Devil Bliss. We have 6 other people in the room. If you'd like to introduce yourselves and check in, please do. If not, linger in the back shadows and periphery of this show, and that's fine too, I guess.
In the umbra and the penumbra.
I call this light setting jaundice.
Yeah, you do look a little
but what's weird is that's not the
peaked.
That's not the yeller. There's the yeller setting.
Mr. Heron.
This is a combination of both. We'll go with the less jaundice.
Jaime Heron.
All right. Visit our website, please. playitbyyourpodcast.com. Find out about our show. Find our back episodes, all right there. If you'd like to leave a voice message, you can do so from a link right there as well. Where do you want him to send it, Brady, since you want to have a conversation without us being privy to it?
So, Aric, this is a technical question. If he would share his if he shares his phone number on what I'm seeing on my screen, does that go public?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I mean, he can put it into a comment. If you can see the comments, I just won't post the comment.
That's what I mean. Chris, can you do that?
Can you do it via Morse code, Chris?
Beep, 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 beep.
Maybe, Chris, we promise we don't make a habit soliciting phone numbers out there. Brady's
Yes. Chris is an old acquaintance of mine, and I tried to send him a message. I had an explanation for him, and it was one that could not be shared in a public setting. And I realized that when I sent him a private message that he probably hasn't been on the Facebooks in a while. So I was wanting to make sure that I could get his contact info.
He hasn't been on the Facebooks. I'm sure his life is much better for that.
It is. I'm sure it is.
Although I would request everyone get on Facebook at least when we're podcasting or
Absolutely. I was really trying to rustle up some new listeners. I was approaching some people couple newbies that did not know I had a podcast. They're relatively new acquaintances, and they sounded excited. So,
how can anyone know you not know that you have a podcast, Brady?
Yeah. Haven't you told everyone you know?
I do, but so not if she happens to be out there. One of our new employees from this year, she's not in the building all the time, so she floats betwixt buildings. So I happened to catch, just one of those things where it lined up.
Gotcha. John checking in from the Columbi.
Hey, John.
The C bus.
All right. So if you haven't been on our show or with our show or watching our show or listening to our show, however it is you consume the Play It By Ear podcast, if you've not been here before, we have a topic that we'll talk about, and we'll have usually it's a game. Today, it's going to be our first watch along.
New uncharted territory.
It is. And the other co-hosts of mine do not know what is going to be happening here. So every reaction to what will happen is totally organic. I told them very little. I said purposely to not look anything up. I don't want them to know anything before they see it.
Didn't want to.
That's what I do best.
Sullied.
Is not know anything. I'm already winning.
Corona J. Buffett. Is Jimmy Buffett checking in with us from the dead?
That is a fellow Cincinnati musician, I believe. Thing 1, Thing 2. Is that correct, Corona?
Oh yeah.
The name of your group.
Nice.
He can fill me in if I'm wrong here. I have to admit I've only met Corona once, and we need to hang out again. But thank you for joining our podcast. This podcast, I'll give you a heads up. It's not a music podcast. We do talk about music quite a bit, but you never know what we're going to talk about. It could be coleslaw.
Mr. Corona J. Buffett, you are in for a treat. Hang on.
Yes.
The missus.
Yes. The better half is here, Todd.
That's
watch along. Watch along. Yes, we will be watching an episode of a game show from 1979. That's all I will say at this point. There's more to come. All right. And we'll be able to comment as well as our audience members can put some commentary in there as well. It will make it all much better. Although the train wreck that it is outstanding as well. We can add to it. All right. Todd has our topic for the night. Todd, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. I got to thinking, when we first started this podcast, we kind of stuck to topics that involved Brown County, Sardinia. It was very nostalgia based, and I know there have been some people that have kind of said that they kind of wish we would go back to that from time to time, but I'm not going to do that here with this. I say that to say this: I have chosen a topic that is Cincinnati based.
Nice.
We don't typically do this, so I thought, you know what, there maybe isn't a whole lot of funny here, but maybe since most of our listeners are in the Cincinnati area, I thought maybe this would hit home for some of us. So
there's always funny here.
Yes, I mean built-in funny. We'll make it funny, but there's not much built-in funny with this. So the topic or the title of this is a City Beat article, by the way. And it is 24 things only people in Cincinnati are obsessed with.
I believe I saw this the other day. So
did you see it the other day?
I did.
Okay.
I perused it. I have some comments. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'll just get started. The first thing we have, and these are in no order, like this isn't like it's just a random order from the way I take it here. The first one is Kentucky bourbon. Now, I know this isn't an area that you guys are overly familiar with, or you don't dip your toe into the bourbon world very often.
You do.
But I do.
You do.
And the picture here, because all these have a picture, by the way, is New Riff. So I'll just try to read this as quickly as I can. It says Cincinnati's a beer town, which I think most people know it as a beer town. But once you cross the Ohio River, you're also in Kentucky bourbon country. Not only is the Bluegrass State home to the Bourbon Trail, a journey of distilleries throughout the state, there's also the Northern Kentucky Bee Line, which blends the bourbon sipping experience with dining. Northern Kentucky's biggest distilleries, including New Riff, Old Pogue, and Boone County Distilling Company, are part of the Bee Line, along with some of the Tri-State's favorite restaurants like Smoke Justice.
I think I saw that movie.
Yeah. Coppins, Bouquet and Coppins at Hotel Covington. New Riff was the one that stood out to me. I have never had Old Pogue and I've never had Boone County Distilling, but I'm a big fan of New Riff. And you guys probably know where New Riff is located if you're the Party Source right there off of 471 Route 8, right? Is that Route 8?
Route 8, the 8 ball.
Yeah. There's a New Riff distillery
kind of
right there beside the Party Source. And I thought it was interesting to start with that because, again, you don't think of Cincinnati per se as a bourbon town, but
I know there's a lot of bourbon aficionados, and it's kind of come back. And I wish nothing. I enjoy what's the word I'm looking for? The feel of bourbon establishments. Dark room, a lot of oak, and I wish I liked it more. But I know this is going to make me sound like an unwashed heathen, but I still think it tastes like a Sharpie smells.
Can I interject here? It's funny you say that because as someone who's kicked it up a notch with their bourbon, what do you want to studies?
Bourbonology.
There are quite, and I've been working on my palate and getting certain notes and things like that and training my palate. But there's a note that comes up in lots of bourbons, and other people agree to this too. That is a Sharpie note. So you're not too far off there.
In whatever note my note receptor is heavy on the Sharpie, and I wish, because it always looks so nice in the glass and the clinking sound it makes when you swirl them ice cubes and the interesting bottles and the stories. And then as soon as I drink it, it's like the vibe is like, and I wish I liked it more. I do.
Well, you can, if you just have to try. My let's see, my bourbon collection. Say is on here, so she knows it's no secret. But my bourbon collection went from a couple bottles a year to, I believe I'm up to about 91 bottles right now. So
is your liver okay? Is that why you're jaundiced?
Well, I said I have 91 bottles. I didn't say I've drank 91 bottles. But anyway, it's quite fun, and our keyboard player Keith is my bourbon brother. So having someone else in the band that is a fan, kind of we kind of attack that passion together is pretty fun. But yeah, the Sharpie note is not as absurd as what you probably thought it was going to be when you said it. Savannah, I have had Brothers Bond. Yeah, I enjoy it quite a bit, and Josh Wilderness Trail is good as well. It's I believe that's a weeder. I believe that's a weeded bourbon.
And Annie, I'm glad that you agree. Like it's such a strange thing. It's such a specific thing. I actually opened a Sharpie today. Is marking on something. And I'm like, smells like bourbon.
So Annie, welcome. I'm not sure we've seen you in the live audience before.
We're happy you're here.
Yes.
And John, how you doing, John?
John says bourbon makes me crawl up on the bathroom's cold tile and go to sleep.
See, it's good. All right. Keep the list going. Next on the list, Grippo's chips. Grippo's is just one of those brands that are synonymous with Cincinnati, and the name automatically evokes the tongue-burning sensation that accompanies their barbecue chips. While the snack food company is best known for those chips and their caked-on seasoning that, while incredibly delicious, could burn the paint off a car, Grippo's also offers plain potato chips and other flavors like salt and vinegar, sour creams, and onion, and sweet Maui onions. They also have a line of pretzels, popcorn, and pork rinds. That's a lot of pretzels, popcorn, and pork rinds.
And pistachios.
I I know a lot of people like the Grippo barbecue. It's hot, just hot. So there's no taste to it. It's like that said, you burn the paint off your car, but it doesn't have any lasting taste other than burning your tongue.
Whoa, we got Ashley's on here. We got James, Ashley, Annie. We're getting visited by all kinds of superstars tonight. Aric, I will say this. I think you guys know that I am a Hussman's barbecue chip fan. That's my go-to. That was always my go-to.
Is Hussman still around?
I don't think they are.
I'll tell you what the gold standard of local chippery was. Mike Sells. They had an excellent chip.
That's Dayton.
Yeah,
I
was never a big Michael Sells fan.
Michael's coming.
Hussman's barbecue chips to me were the cat's ass. And
is that a good thing, or is that like the bee's knees, or is that bad?
It's like the bee's knees. But I will say this, Aric. Grippo's, if you can buy 5 boxes of Grippo's, like the full, and all 5 of them will have different levels of heat versus sweetness. There's no consistency. You'll get a box or a bag that will light you up, and then you'll get one that's very mild and more sweet and doesn't burn as bad.
Now the Illinois in-laws like Grippo's quite a bit. They always ask for them when we come.
Wasn't it what local establishment? They would, and they made a point of mentioning the brand too. So they had I think it was a burger that they would crumble up Grippo's on them. And
Gold Star did that, didn't they?
Yeah, and they would say Grippo's chips.
Yeah.
That was the point,
Tom and Chi used to have a sandwich that had Grippo's barbecue chips.
Yeah,
that's what they need around Orb, Tom and Chi.
Oh yeah, Saya's got it. The Senate. It's the trailer park dog.
Oh yeah.
The trailer park dog has a giant beef frank, a brioche bun,
the Franklin,
coleslaw, y'all's favorite, cheddar cheese, and Grippo's barbecue chips.
I'd try that.
It's very good. Say and I have 2 different ways of eating a trailer park dog. First off, they're huge. And Say's method is you don't put it down once you pick it up.
I just think of trailer park wiener, but that's a whole different.
My method is you cut it
Could
in
be
half.
huge, but they're probably lying about it.
All right. Let's see. I got a lot of comments here. This one goes back to the bourbon. Jim says, once you try really good bourbon, it's hard to drink a cheap one. He likes the Knob Creek bourbon that you have on your hat. There, Todd.
Do you like Knob Creek 12 is my favorite of the Knob Creeks.
Push to go for the 13.
Throw that out there, but I agree with that. Although there are a lot of cheap, lower end bourbons I like, and I really think like the $35 to $60 is kind of a sweet spot. The
lead singer from Jackal, he had that bourbon.
That's not good.
Is that considered low end?
Good. It's not good.
The Browns are checking in with 29 bottles of bourbon in their cabinet.
Nice.
Zach and Annie. Ashley says, you don't know how much you love Grippo's till you move out of state and cannot get them. Never will take them for granted again. Chris had a buddy come visit from Chicago, said he hated them because they were too hot. I don't say I hate them. I don't like hot for hotness's sake. There has to be some other taste.
He had that Chicago palate.
Grippo's also has barbecue cheese curls, according to Savannah. I've not seen those. John talks about Jim Scott being their ad man, their pitch man for years and years. Always has a Grippo bag in his back pocket, he says. Ashley, the cat's ass. I'm using this every day in my vocabulary going forward.
You're welcome.
Annie.
So just to clarify, Todd, it does mean something good. So that was amazing. It was the cat's anus.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why.
But I don't like seeing the cat's anus when I'm sitting on the couch. I don't think that's a good thing at all.
You don't have a choice. First off, you will see as much cat ass as a cat wants to show you.
Which is most of the time all of it.
Yes.
And for as long as the cat wants to
present
show
it,
you.
View it in its glory here. But I did put Buttle the Cat on
I
our
saw that.
I haven't brought Buttle the Cat or Randy the Cane Toad back in a while, so I
It-
thought it's a good time.
It's like you knew he was going to talk about
Yes.
cats' asses.
Chris, Chris is our historian. Do you remember the Randy the Cane Toad episode, Chris? Or have you heard or listened?
So, for those of you unaware of Randy the Cane Toad, we were doing a topic one time about animals. I think it was during Valentine's Day. It was. And it was about animal romance, like courtship, different animals. And the cane toad is a very prolific, um, how should I say it?
Is a prolific
Reproducer.
love
Let's
making
say
ability.
they get around.
Yes.
So I thought it'd be hilarious. And
Hence the name Randy.
Yes, that was part of the joke. And they
sorry.
were in Australia, so I thought that Randy the Cane Toad should do like an animal call-in, like Dateline. So this is Randy the Cane Toad. So I hear you, Mr. Koala. You got some problems with your Sheila, and
I think you sound more like Michael Caine than Randy the Cane Toad. Michael the Cane Toad.
Michael the Cane Toad. That would be more refined.
All right. Chris says Frisch's has a Grippo's grilled cheese. Did not know that.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Celia, 2 trailer park dogs go round the outside, brown outside, round the outside.
Did you mean to put the brown in there, babe?
I'm so confused. What is that?
I got it, but I had to read around the brown.
The round brown.
James and I we're going to have a whole side conversation about bourbon. I can see that. James, the 12, not only is it better than the 15, I like 12 better than the 18.
Is there a pie, a 3.14 for that mathematically correct bourbon?
Chris says 2 shows in a row. Todd extends everyone's vocabulary. The cat's ass and the polio comment on our last show.
I told my friend Mr. Brewer that, and he laughed for 5 minutes on the phone, and he also said he's going to use that in his daily conversation.
I need to start charging people.
Yeah, because I wanted to say it to a student that had tarried too long in the restroom. He was like, "You're going to give yourself case of the restroom polio."
Nobody uses tarried anymore.
Tarried too long.
What is this, the Odyssey?
Josh talks about Woodford Reserve.
Josh, have you ever tried Woodford Double Oak? It's one of my favorites.
In today's terminology, is it Woodford Junior Varsity now?
Tell it to Brady, say you.
Yeah. Well, Brady can't do voice text while driving or not driving.
I have a theory of why that works. I have a theory of why Brady's voice texts turn out the way they do.
He doesn't edit them?
Well, besides that, his voice is deep. He has a very deep, like you don't realize it, but Brady has a sneaky deep voice. And especially if he has when he gets tired, it gets deeper and deeper. Have you ever noticed that? Brady, would you agree to that?
I'm exhausted.
No, that's not even as deep as your voice normally is. And I think your phone cannot recognize the depth.
Too much power. It overpowers the microphone.
Power.
But
try it, Josh.
Yeah. All right. Have we exhausted the bourbon?
Let's move on to the next thing on the list.
Or the Grippos?
Yeah. Cincinnati style chili. You knew it was going to be on here, folks.
Oh, yeah.
Is it chili or is it miat sauce? Yes, Cincinnati style chili is not what outsiders would automatically think of when you say chili, but most Cincinnatians will automatically picture the thin, meaty sauce slathered over a hot dog or spaghetti. It's not chili in the traditional chili con carne. How do you say that?
Con carne.
Con carne, yes. It threw me for a loop since being closer to a Greek pasta sauce. But it's a core part of our identity now, and there's no escaping it. As for Cincinnati chili origins, we can thank the founders of Empress Chili. I love Empress Chili. Tom and John, if anybody knows this, Kiragieff. Tom and John Kiragieff. Kiradjiff. Kiragieff. For delivering this culinary masterpiece to our city.
So would it be an unpopular opinion to say that if it has beans, it is chili? If it does not, it's not?
Nay, because you could get a 4-way.
Yeah.
With onion.
Onion.
And there's the confusing part. So if I have this right, when my niece Amber, her husband is from Colorado, and they're in the Navy, and when he visited and he got to try Gold Star for the first time, he was confused, like, because a 4-way, there's a duality of 4-way. One 4-way could contain onion, and one can contain beanage. So 2 definitions of the 4-way.
Beanage over onion. What happens if I click join the chat, Aric?
Join the chat.
Like underneath of the comments on the right side of my screen, it says join the chat. What happens if I click it? I'm scared.
Oh, I don't know. I don't see it on my end.
Will be joint.
Hey, I joined it.
Does that mean you can make comments on there too?
It says I have to connect to my YouTube account to join the live chat. See, I was hoping, I wish we could do comments, because I see people saying things that I know we don't have time to address every one of them individually, but all right.
Well, Brady, first of all, why did you feed that poor guy Gold Star?
He did. He tried
because Gold Star's the best.
No one says that besides you.
Amber and Matt both prefer Skyline. They liked Gold Star, but they preferred Skyline. So
I've said it once, I'll say it again. Skyline ways are better, but Gold Star's conies by far. Skyline's conies taste like they've been soaking in water for 6 months. You know what they taste like? They taste like the wet food at the pool that I hate growing up.
That's where they come from.
They're musty and slick and oily and damp.
You paint a lovely picture of a hat dag there. Musty, oily, slick, and damp.
But I still say Skyline has them beat with the burritos, the potatoes, and the ways. But Gold Star for the conies. And I just had dinner with a coworker after work today, and they got a cheeseburger, and they said it's the best cheeseburger in town, and they are. They're very good cheeseburgers and chicken sandwiches.
Now, your wife was a slinger of the Skyline for a lot of years. Did a fine job, and I don't know how she allows you in her bed singing the praises of Gold Star.
Yeah. Who says she does?
True.
I love Skyline.
He'd shut it. Did I rile her up when I was talking about Skyline?
She's on Fuego.
Yeah, if you talk about Saya, she's not even here. That's my dog.
That's what I'm talking about, the dog.
Oh yeah, you got her all fired up. Shut it. Barking at nothing.
What is it? Here, Chris, thank you very much. That is absolutely the best reason to not like Gold Star. What is that? A 5-way with cut up hot dogs, lettuce, sour cream served in a bowl with Fritos on top? Who comes up with that stuff?
Kim
so is this a real?
It's a plot. It's a communist plot.
Well, I mean, Gold Star has good salads, but I don't get them with hot dogs and stuff on them. Like they have a good chicken salad. What do you call it? It's got grilled chicken cut up in it, and like.
I'm telling you, a hot dog salad with hot dogs on it is something you'd see at a family reunion
in 1976.
Right. And
with
would remain
gelatinous pink goo with white stuff on
would
top
remain
of it.
Untouched the whole day. Yeah, well, apparently it is a salad adjacent to a salad. Maybe there's some lettuce there, I guess.
I'm not even a fan of
lettuce on there to give you an illusion of some vegetable roughage. The rest of it just pure grease and meat.
It's I'm
not a fan of the salad at Gold Star that has chili on it, only because it doesn't take long for the warmness of the chili and all that to make the lettuce warm. You know what I mean? Like I don't like warm lettuce.
Limp, warm lettuce.
But the good thing about both Gold Star and Skyline is that there's no wet hair in it. And you know what? If Gold Star and Skyline would both just advertise this, eat our chili, it's not Wendy's.
I like Wendy's chili.
Yeah.
I get it too, but every time I get it, I'm like, why am I doing this? It's grotesque. There's nothing. I mean,
It's not grotesque.
you got to put it over a baked potato and dump loads of cheese and sour cream on it before it's even edible.
Oh,
Do you
here we
wanna know
go.
what the worst chili is ever?
The Michigan people are chiming in now. Thank you.
Del
very much.
Monte.
Well, no,
Hello, dear.
it's not even that. I accidentally, because I was grabbing a can of Gold Star at the dollar store to make some good. So I wanted to grab 2 cans, but I wasn't paying attention. So I just grabbed 2 in succession off the shelf. And the other one was red and it had a circus tent logo.
I've
And
seen
it
that.
says, yeah, it is chili sauce. I'm sure it's made by Alpo or Tender Victors.
What about some good old Hormel?
Hormel.
Hormel.
Well, because the first 3 letters says it all, because it's probably made of horse meat.
It's not where I thought you were going to go with that.
So, yeah.
That would be a
Well,
W.
I like it. I like a Cholito. Chris, did we talk about this last week? I'm having deja vu here.
Had me a Cholito with spaghetti this very day from the Fayetteville skyline.
So did we not just talk about this the other day about how weird it is to put spaghetti in your burrito? That's weird to me. Is it good?
Castleberries.
I was going to say, did Flo make that Coney?
Well, hey,
At the Shea Chug-a-Lug?
Well, no, here's the weird part. Mel's Diner was known for Mel's chili, but
Yeah.
Castleberry's hawking it. There's a weird piece of a deep dive into Alice
So-
sitcomery.
I ask again, Fiscus, if you're going to be ballsy enough to put spaghetti in your burrito,
Yeah.
is it good?
It's good.
Okay.
Two starches together.
Yeah, that just seems
Not
odd to me.
not out of bounds.
Youth group dip.
No.
Yeah, youth group dip.
How do
So
they get the kids to stay still while they're cooked?
I like
Right.
what you did there.
Thank you.
No, it's a purloined skyline dip.
Nice.
Purloined. That they call it youth group dip. It's skyline dip is what it is.
Honestly, I've never heard of youth group.
But she won't call it that because she claims that Cincinnati chili is grotesque. So she won't say it's skyline dip. So she has to make up another name for it.
James, interesting. I had never have. Can't you get just a bowl of chili with cut up hot dogs in it?
Yes.
That wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, it's a Coney bowl is what they call it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So is there anyone in here? How many people do we have in the room, Aric?
16.
Out of the 16 people in this room, is there anyone in here that agrees with me that Gold Star is better than Skyline? I gotta know.
That would be a negatory. Any one of our audience members agree with Todd that Skyline is superior over Gold Star?
Let me add something to that. Not only do I say Gold Star is better than Skyline, but Empress is better than both of them.
I don't have enough on Empress to make a determination on that. But
Keith Wendell in the house. I knew I could count on you, Keith.
Keith Wendell.
I saw Keith at Craget's.
Pretty much.
What about Camp Washington chili? I've not had that one yet.
It's been a long time, but I liked it when I had it.
Blue ash chili.
I've never been to Blue Ash Chili. I want to go mainly because I looked at their menu not too long ago. Because that's what I do. I just read menus, and they have a coney that is a corn dog coney. Thank you.
Yeah.
Boy, Aric, the ratio, Aric, isn't working out for you.
You know what? You misread that.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, Todd.
The
I am
ratio,
right.
Aric, is working out for you. Thank you, Amber. See?
Yeah. Welcome,
No.
Amber.
I
could make a case where the Gold Star Coney might be better. Their hot dog is definitely better quality than the Skyline. I can't disagree with that. But I'm going to be one of those rare people. Gold Star, what?
John.
So, John, Blue Ash Chili is what you find that in Troublesome Creek.
You'll find the remnants of it in Troublesome Creek when you're done eating it.
Yeah.
Let's see how many people got that joke. There's some humor for you.
John, blue ash chili. Should catch ash.
Cat's ash. I forget. Oh, I was about ready to say something profound about Gold Star. I'm a person that the chili itself, I like both. I can't find a ton of difference. There's subtle differences. But not to break any new ground here, but I like Skyline's way is better. And I do prefer a Gold Star Coney.
Yeah. That's what I've always said. So I can't really pick which one's better, but each one has. I love the chili cheese potatoes at Skyline. I love the Chilitos. But again, the Conies or the chili cheese sandwiches at Gold Star, and I know Aric thinks it's bogus, but burgers, chicken sandwiches. If you're in the mood for that, let's just say let's just say you want 2 cheese Conies and a burger. You can't get that at Skyline.
You're too far off of the beaten path. You
right there.
Went into realms that you were not meant to go. Gold Star chili. Yes,
okay,
Chris.
So
the chili dump.
I'm going to compare it to this. If you ever went to like one of those Racks Long John Silver's combos, and you wanted a roast beast or maybe a BBC.
Oh, that means so much different now.
I hope not. Because
say what?
Because I hope people don't know how depraved your mind is, Aric. But if you've ever been in one of them,
Brady's there laughing too,
and you want a BBC, but you also want some barnacles. I'll even use your guys' term for them.
Oh, he's going there.
And some hushed puppies.
Okay, that now
quieted canines and barnacles.
You're defeating your own argument. These are 2 separate restaurants.
But my point is,
each in their lane, not this 10-lane highway of Gold Star.
They're not each in their own lane. It's literally the same lane. You order from the same lady.
It's 2 different restaurants. They don't call it the Racks Barnacles. They don't call it the Long John Silver's BBC.
Which is very...
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my.
Next! I don't think barnacles and BBC go together.
And you know what? This is not even as randy as this show's going to get here.
All right, let's watch along. Let's move on. Let's move on to something we can all agree on.
Okay, I'm going to put Gary's comment up first. Who wants a burger when you can have Skyline? That is the perfect comment right there.
Oh, okay, Gary. Let's just say that you are with a loved one and you're going down the road and you say, hey, I would love to have some chili, a coney, something along those lines. And they say, nah, I'd rather have a burger or a chicken sandwich. At that point, you can do that whole awkward drive forever and not be able to decide, or you can go to Gold Star and you can both be satisfied.
Or you could go through Wendy's and get a single and you could get their
You can't get a coney at Wendy's.
No, but you could get chili. I know. I'm being facetious.
You can basically get a bowl of wet hair and other things that don't belong in chili.
Possum meat.
All right. Next up, by the way, let me remind people maybe that if you just joined us, what my list is. It is a list, 24 things that only people from Cincinnati are obsessed with. Next up on our list, Joe Burrow. Any arguments there?
Nay.
Of course we're obsessed with Burrow. He's Cincinnati's golden boy. Not only did our readers pick the Bengals star quarterback to win our Best of Cincinnati category for best overall athlete, he also won Best Cincinnatian.
He was the one that finally unseated crud. Tag on the hippo.
Well,
Fiona.
Thank you. Because Fiona was the top Cincinnatian.
Shameless plug, but Vinyl Countdown made in the top 3 of best cover bands in Cincinnati this year, the City Beat Awards. That's what they're talking about, the City Beat Awards. So thank you for anyone who voted for us. Anyway, it says it's easy to see why though, helping the formerly flagging football team back-to-back postseasons, including whoever wrote this they're too wordy. This is giving me difficulties. I'm typically a good reader. His bromance with team member wide receiver Jamar Chase is impeccable. His impeccable style and the fact that he's just an all-around good dude who has his own charity fighting food insecurity, shares the spotlight, and is polite to opponents. What's not to love?
True that.
Man.
Thank you, John.
Joseph.
Joseph.
In the house.
Cheers. It is scheduled release day. Where the brownie's going to end up.
Here's a little history for you on this next one. Now, by the way, is it called the Roebling Bridge? Is that the bridge?
Roebling.
See, telling people the Roebling was the Brooklyn Bridge's predecessor.
It was.
At first glance, it might appear the Roebling Bridge is just a smaller scale model of the massive Brooklyn Bridge, but that's not the case. The Roebling, which connects downtown Cincinnati to Covington, is actually the older and, in our opinion, cooler sibling to the Brooklyn Bridge. Both having been designed and built by John A. Roebling. Construction on the Roebling was completed in 1866, and at the time, fellas, it was the longest suspension bridge in the world.
It was.
And just for you guys keeping score at home, construction on the Brooklyn Bridge wasn't completed until 1883. What's that? Damn near 20 years later.
17 years.
Yeah.
And mind you, during the Civil War, that's when a lot of that bridge building was happening with the Roebling Bridge.
There's an excellent podcast called History That Doesn't Suck. And their episode on the Brooklyn Bridge was riveting. And I know that sounds crazy, but it was very, very good. Very good. So, sorry.
Oh, very fine. Next on the list, flying pigs. Cincinnati loves its flying pigs, but why? It gets back to our roots as Porkopolis, or basically a lot of pigs were slaughtered here for our booming pork packing industry.
All right,
and in the 80s, to celebrate Cincinnati's bicentennial, artist Andrew Leicester created the Cincinnati Gateway, a sculpture in Bicentennial Commons in Sawyer Point. The sculpture features 4 smokestacks with winged pigs atop each one, meant to represent the souls of all the pigs killed, so Cincinnati could flourish. The concept wasn't a hit at first with some, with pushback coming from then-Mayor Charlie Lucan, but Cincinnatians later embraced the flying pigs, and they became a symbol of the city, from the iconic statues you can find around town to the name of our annual marathon.
So a little bit more history there. Yes, Cincinnati was the meat packer for the world, they said at one time. We were surpassed by Chicago because we would not adopt the railroad system, and Chicago did. We chose to build canals, and we were left behind. Cincinnati at one time was I believe at its highest, it was the 5th largest city in the United States. And Chicago was a mere blip on the map, but things quickly flip-flopped.
Abe Roman came in and changed Chicago.
Gary, I thought there was a rivet joke there somewhere, so thank you for picking up on that.
Yes. That's what I thought Brady was doing.
That's
I
what I did
not
too,
going
yeah.
to acknowledge it, but
next on the
Flying
list,
Pig Marathon is the country's favorite marathon.
telling people we almost had a subway. Cincinnatians often speak of our legendary abandoned subway tunnels so reverently that they're almost mythical. The reality is more a sad, doomed from the start tale of inflation, poor budgeting, and litigation. Real work on the subway began in 1920, but inflation following World War I and the 2 years prior to that had raised the cost of construction and caused a shortage of materials. So the city planned to raise funds to complete the subway later. However, funds ran out in 1927. And by that time, the subway construction was causing the foundations of buildings along its route to crack. So then came the lawsuits. There were several attempts to complete the subway in later years, but it wasn't meant to be. The project was scrapped in 1948 and is now used to house, you guys know? I know what
I've
Ninja
heard this
Turtles.
before.
a water main and optical fiber cables.
Yep.
It's also a popular urban exploration spot.
They do allow some tours. I've heard that, and if I had $1 for every time they said they were going to try to revive it, but it'd be cool. It'd be cool, but
I'm surprised they haven't revived it since they revived a streetcar. They had
that thing's
streetcars
finally turned into
galore.
profit.
How is it turning a profit? They don't charge to ride it.
Well, all I know is like how it was a boondoggle. Then like in the last 2 years, it's become a TQL Stadium being built has really been a lifeline to that whole thing.
Well, but again, it's not making a profit because it
Yeah.
doesn't.
Well,
charge.
you know what I mean. It's like
Next on the list, and I feel an
Even-
argument coming on. Grader's ice cream. Overrated.
As compared to what?
I know
Grader's
what's coming.
is a Cincinnati brand that's so iconic, even Oprah loves it.
Warfare wants it.
Orfra. Yeah.
And loves it. And Naomi Biden, who?
Joe Biden's daughter, I believe.
Oh, we could talk about that. Served it at her wedding. Not only does the ice
Not that
Showered it
daughter.
with
not that
toppings.
daughter.
Not
Huh?
that daughter.
I
Okay.
said showered it with topic.
Yeah, that's what I said. We won't. Yeah.
Easy.
Don't get canceled, Brady. No shower jokes. Not only does the ice cream parlor offer unique flavors, especially its legendary black raspberry
Hello,
chocolate
Pa.
chip, but the ice cream
double
itself is
Pa.
uniquely crafted. Grader still uses the French pot method of its founder, resulting in a creamy ice cream base that's leveled up with the addition of gourmet chocolate, which is poured over the churning creme to make a shell that artisans then break up to break up to create the gigantic chunks you know and love.
It's not that I dislike graders.
It's overrated.
I just don't have that intense love of it. Probably because the blackberry chocolate chip thing is not a flavor I would choose.
Well,
I
I love
don't
blackberry chocolate chip, but there's only one place to go for that, and that's UDF.
I was wondering when the UDF words were going to come out.
UDF ice cream over Graders all day, every day.
When you go to United Dairy Flingers, they like when they put it like they're the one. UDF mixes it up. They have more variety. What was
I
that?
just got it. I just got the United Dairy
Oh.
Flingers.
But Graders, I mean, they do have an excellent whole bean vanilla. That it's an impeccable vanilla. It's so good that you don't want to put anything else on it.
Who
It
just
is
eats
top.
vanilla ice cream?
If it's a good one, yeah. If it's a good one, it's got to pop. But that being
I like
said,
vanilla ice cream, but I mean, I gotta have something in it, up again it and in it.
All right. So we got several comments on different ice creams. Chris says Graders is nowhere close to Cold Stone Creamery.
I agree, but Chris, stay away from the Cold Stone birthday cake.
birthday cake.
Brady can message you about that later if he gets.
Oh,
Savannah says Young's Dairy is much better than Graders.
I've never had that. I don't think.
Sealy's never understood the love of either. It's okay.
We agree.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm like that about Graders too. I think UDF is superior because of the number of flavors that UDF has versus Graders. I
There
think
was a-
Graders is a higher quality ice cream. I will give it that.
I don't think I'm misremembering this, but there was like a mango sorbet kind of thing. I got a Graders once that was just the cat's anus.
That is the most Brady ice cream flavor I've ever heard in my damn life. First off, mango should not even be
Yeah.
anywhere near a frozen treat. Second off,
I
sorbet.
now I'm going to say something about what you just said. Mango can be in a popsicle, not as an ice cream.
Well, it's not an ice cream; it's a sorbet.
I'm gonna mango. Here,
Sorbet.
so Monday. this past Monday, we had our track and field day. And so we walked down the hill to the high school and we're down there 2 hours. And I don't know if you remember Monday or not, but from 9:30 to 11:30, it was like blazing hot sun. It was like it was in the mid-afternoon. And the smell coming back from armpits from the fourth graders is exactly what mango tastes like. Mango flavored anything tastes like.
Kids have ever heard that.
It's armpit.
It's armpit.
Not to mention, who gets sorbet when there's ice cream to be had?
Well,
I'll give you that. I'm with you there.
Okay. Oh, man, this might in San Diego when I was there Christmas before last. There was like an ice cream, an independent one, very avant-garde, and their combinations were. I mean, some of them were silly, like the blue cheese and olive oil when
That's disgusting.
I know. Some of it was like crazy, but they had a vanilla with chunks of mango and dragon fruit in it, star fruit or dragon fruit, and it was just amazing. But I also like. I'm not helping myself out here. It's
dragon fruit.
what?
Dragon fruit?
Yeah, chunks.
Take my ice cream sans dragon.
Fruit.
Brady, I will say, you've always liked your tropical and your fruitiness.
Yeah.
I am more of a chocolate, peanut butter, fudgy,
And
brownie, that type of thing. And you've been more of the fruity. Like
absolutely. If I walked out of my room right now, what I want is one of the chocolatey, peanut buttery ones. But man, on a hot day, one of those light, tropical fruit ones, man. The one that confused me was in Mexico. It was a red sorbet, and it was sweet, but it was chili powder in it.
Ew.
So it was simultaneously frozen, but hot. It confused my tongue and my brain.
I used to love a good sherbet.
Sherbet.
But I tell this story often, Brady, and I'm not making fun of you here because it's just you, man. But this is Brady. So years ago, after many of Noble Hardiman shows and eventually Barcode shows, this is the difference between Brady and me. We got into the habit of eating at IHOP after shows, and my go-to would have been something like a ham and cheese omelet with pancakes and chocolate chips sprinkled on top of them, sourdough toast, whatever meat product they had. And Brady, every time, without hesitation.
Can I say it?
What would Brady order?
The Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity.
The Rudy daggone Tooty.
Fresh and friggin'
and
fruity.
Bleeping fresh and bleeping fruity. After playing a show, just doesn't hit the spot.
Yeah, I like my fruit.
Now I like what's under the Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity, but I don't like it's the fresh and fruity part that I think I don't like on that. The Rudy Tooty's not bad, but the fresh and fruity is where I draw the line.
Yeah, I either want some cherries or some apples. But once again, I get that, but I go the greasy route too. But this, I do like my fruit based.
You do indeed. Nothing wrong with that. Actually, Say and I, that's a disagreement we have. She is if you get any kind of dessert, she likes any kind of dessert with fruit on it. And I am more of the chocolate. Double chocolate, triple chocolate, fudge, brownie, peanut butter, some caramel.
All right, but I'll put Jim's comment up here. This is the bottom line, and I'll take the mango ice cream if there's no other ice cream to be had. I'll eat it because it's ice cream.
If you guys want some good ice cream, go to UDF when they have their peanut butter and jelly ice cream and get you a shake made out of it.
See, I don't know about that, man. I like peanut butter milkshakes, but that adding the fruit in it.
You're all over the place, Brady. You need to settle down.
Yeah.
You're all wishy-washy. All right, gentlemen. Aric mentioned this earlier. Maybe it was Brady. The Cincinnati Zoo's hippo siblings.
Yeah.
Fiona and Don't you besmirch our hippopotami.
Now, earlier we talked about the cat's ass. Now I'm going to talk about a rat's ass.
As in, you don't give one?
I have never
In my
given
hand, I
a
have the
rat's
anus
ass
of.
about the Cincinnati Zoo hippos. I've never seen them. I didn't watch a video of them being born on Facebook.
To see them play with ball in the water and eat a pumpkin and watch their tails make a poop helicopter, and
Now, that's good times.
that's good times. But my zoology professor in college, Dr. Pryor, said that the three animals that have the highest testosterone concentration in their blood, bullfrogs, bull sharks, but hippopotamus, a male hippopotamus, is roid raged all the time, which makes them so aggressive.
They kill a lot of people.
They kill more other than like a tsetse fly or something or a mosquito.
We just talked about that. It's the end of the year. I gave my science students an interesting list today. Mosquitoes is number 1, but hippopotami were number 9, 600 deaths a year. Mostly people on the Nile that go to like get their water and wash their clothes, and there's
what about those little catfish that'll swim into your orifices when you're
the pee hole fish? Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah.
John Barney does not want a hippopotamus for Christmas.
No,
I see
John impaled by them tusks.
All right, guys. On the next list, or next on the list, I'm sorry. Geta, baby. Geta. Are you even a true Cincinnatian if you haven't been hit in the face by a hot oat while cooking Geta?
Ask Hall.
This breakfast sausage is Cincinnati through and through, with its roots in the city's German immigrant population in the 19th century. Geta is typically made with pork and or beef, pinhead oats, onion, and a combination of spices like bay leaves, thyme, black pepper, rosemary, and cloves. As for how you cook it, that's personal preference, but many arguments have broken out around Cincinnati breakfast tables over whether the Geta is crispy enough. It's got to be crispy. Geta is my favorite breakfast meat by far.
See, I still go with a good old country ham that's so salty and makes your blood pressure leap. But
okay, wait a minute.
Nobody under the age of 98 prefers country ham over like sugar ham or something, or like a good sweet ham.
Oh, good old salty in a smokehouse in a tobacco barn that's been.
You guys remember when you were kids and you just got done playing a game, a doubleheader on a hot Saturday afternoon, and you chewed on the little your ball glove string things. That's what country ham tastes like.
No,
it's just sweaty.
If it did, I would eat my glove daily.
All right, so back to your comment. It's your favorite breakfast meat. Geta is not meat. Geta contains meat. It's not meat. It's meat. It's got oats. It make your poop smooth.
Excuse me, it says right here, this breakfast sausage.
Well,
sausage, sir, is meat.
It has meat in it. It in and of itself is not meat. Geta is not meat. Geta contains meat. It contains meat. It's not meat.
No, well, sorry, Aric. I'm going to go down with on Todd's side with this one, because sausage in itself it's got additives too. It's got the spices and the pepperage in it, chopped in it, and
it's put together to make meat.
Yeah.
Meat. Here's the actual question Celia poses. Who the hell chews on their ball glove?
Do you know how I know it's meat? Because when I go to Frisch's and I order my breakfast sandwich with choice of meat, I pick Geta and they put it on there every time. My choice of meat is Geta. What? What are the bacon? Oh.
What the meat bacon candy. Are you talking about? Take bacon or meat
candy.
Meat candy.
My problem with bacon these days, I can't find it the way it's either too chewy or too hard. I can't find it the way I like it.
That's why you go turkey bacon, man.
See, I think that's the problem. I think we're trying to use all the healthy, low sodium turkey bacon, and there's no pleasing me with it.
Yeah, I love me some turkey bacon.
All right, this is probably gonna have to be a two episoder. We're just now halfway through the list. The Ohio River. She may be murky. Something funny about calling the river a she. She may be murky and her content's questionable, but the Ohio River is as much a symbol of Cincinnati as our skyline and cheese conies are. And residents will find any excuse to flock to its riverfront. Going to a Reds game? The Ohio River's in the background. New restaurant on the banks? There better be tables where we can see the river and whatever washes up from it. We also have miles of parks that stretch along its banks because even if the water smells a little funky and something suspicious floats by, we need to enjoy a sunny day near our beloved river.
Amen.
No other Ohio city has a substantial river as a part of it. Yes, Columbus has the
The Olentangy.
Olengrungy.
Yeah.
And Cleveland has the Cuyahoga, which probably is still on fire. Joey.
Is Joey still with us?
I don't know. But, it's the Ohio River is substantial. It's other than the Mississippi River, the most substantial, I will argue.
And I hear there's carp down here as big as Chevettes.
See, I always heard it was a catfish the size of a Volkswagen.
That's what I meant. Yeah, I screwed that joke up, Brady. Thank you for fixing the joke. Actually, I went carp and I went Chevette. You never go
full Chevette. They're the size of a Yugo.
Yeah, I'm sure there's big carp in there too, but oh, come on. All right, next up.
You can't give a thumbs down till you tell us what it is.
La Rose's.
La Rose's.
Now, I have no problem with La Rose's, but only when I have a hankering for it.
Sorry. Thank you, Chris. We love you for that.
Gotta cut out that mud vein.
That's right, Chris. Good eating. Imagine the size of the mud vein on those Chevette-sized carp, Chris.
Yeah.
Was there ever a Chevette made that didn't have that old floppy sack around the gear shift?
It looks like
you know what I'm talking about?
The skin satchel around that.
A gear shift scrotum, if you will.
I bet that Chevette set on that thing every time it sat down by the pool.
That's a little warm.
I hate that. Aric, you teed that one up for me, and
I did.
La Rosa's. I like everything that I get from La Rosa's except the pizza, which I like to call pizza, because I think I think their pizzas smell of foot.
Well, John pointed out there the sauce is very sweet, John, and that's kind of what I meant when I said the hankering for it. Like every once in a while, I do crave that sauce, but otherwise, I have to put it down very far down on my list of favorite pizzas. But I do like the other food products there.
Yeah.
Whereas you say Grater's is overrated, I say La Rosa's is overrated.
I agree. Yeah, I definitely would agree to that. Now I do like their Buddy Boys, or no?
Buddy Boys. That's free.
Sorry. They have two sandwiches. They have a baked royal, or what?
Baked royal.
I gotta look it up now. Way to go, guys.
La Rosa's has an excellent minestrone.
I like their minestrone.
It's a very fresh tasting minestrone.
Yeah.
I'm not a big minestrone fan.
A baked buddy, that sounds like he's got a ganja issue.
What are the La Rosa sandwiches called? Oh, don't just tell me that. Baked royal and a baked buddy. Yeah. So what I call it?
Oh, baked buddy.
What did I call it earlier when you said I was wrong? Did I call it a baked buddy?
On our advertisement for the week, we could have had a baked buttle.
I demand to know what I said. Aric corrected me, but I think I
Is it
said baked
cat's
buddy.
anus?
James,
said
did
it.
I say baked buddy?
You said baked royal. I didn't correct you.
No, when I said something, you said that's
That'd be Prince Harry.
No, you said buddy boy.
buddy boy. That's right. So yeah, I had him confused. So baked buddy, and then there's a baked royal. The baked royal is like an Italian, I believe. One of them is like an Italian sausage or an Italian sandwich. Apparently, they have a baked meatball hoagie. All right, I'm getting
That's
hungry
good.
now. Next up on the list, I'm not going to read the La Rosa's thing. Although this is interesting, guys. Buddy La Rosa started his pizzeria in 1954 with only, anybody want to guess how much money?
$1,500.
$200.
What did you say?
200.
Higher, Bob. Aric.
500.
Lower, Bob.
400.
Got it.
Dang, man.
$400 in his Aunt Dina's pizza recipe. And the pizza sweet sauce and thin crust have been a source of contention ever since. But it's arguably the best known pizza chain in Cincinnati and the go-to for all school pizza parties and workplace special
true.
occasions. Plus, the smashed cannoli slaps. And I don't want to think about slapping a cannoli, and there's no denying it.
That's what they call it these days.
Gosh, we're having a good old punch in the clown.
Oh my!
Oh,
goodness.
Can you say that? Can you say that?
I think you just did.
Right. We got
So,
some comments.
Yeah.
I bet we do.
Josh says Papa John's is better.
I agree. Josh, have you had the new they have a new Papa John's that has the cup pepperonis. I mean, they like, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? The little
Yeah,
the
the one
pepperonis
you-
that are like,
Capo grease.
yeah.
Yeah. I always thought that Papa John's had a Mexican style pizza, and they missed the boat when they didn't call it Papa Juan's on that one. Just I'm saying, they just missed an opportunity.
Yep.
Gary tried the crustless bowl at La Rosa's this week. It was very good. Actually thought the sauce was better that way. Jim had a friend who worked at La Rosa's. He and a couple friends started a band called the Baked Buddies. And not after the sandwich.
Speaking of the devil's lettuce.
Hey Gary, so your comment is intriguing to me because do you think maybe it's the combination crust and sauce together that makes the what some would call unpleasant
Sweetness.
Maybe that I never thought of that.
Yeah, could be.
All right. The Florence Y'all water tower.
Perplexing
She's
as a
big.
child.
She's big and looks slightly like a candy cane. What's not to love? And how she got her name is a great local tale. The water tower was originally painted to say Florence Mall, and to this day is still used to remind you what exit to take to get to said mall. But because it was finished before the actual mall, Florence was told they couldn't use the water tower to advertise something not actually there. That's dumb. Repainting the whole thing would be too expensive, so the Kentucky city drew on its good old Southern hospitality and replaced the M with a greeting for everyone driving down I-71, I-75.
Yeah, that was actually a Kentucky law that you could not have advertising by a highway of something that wasn't there.
It sounds like one of those laws on the books, like you can't punch a horse on a Sunday in June. Like one of those like stupid, just sounds made up that there
It
had to be a
does.
reason behind it.
It's like jaywalking.
Yeah.
I didn't know this. Brady probably knew this. Next up on the list, the fact, and we can stop after this one, Aric. I don't know how long the game is. We're on 14 right now of 24, so you tell me.
Okay.
The fact the Super Friends Hall of Justice is based on Union Terminal.
Yes.
Not only is Union Terminal a gorgeous Art Deco train station turned museum, it was also the inspiration for the Super Friends Hall of Justice, as any Cincinnatian will be more than happy to point out to you. After ABC acquired the rights to DC Comics characters in 1973, they partnered with good old Hanna-Barbera to adapt the Justice League comic books into a cartoon. Hanna-Barbera background supervisor Al Gmuer, Gmuer, was then tasked with creating a grand headquarters for the Super Friends, which he then modeled after our landmark, later saying the task of drawing the building gave him nightmares. And while Union Terminal may be a nightmare to draw, she's also damn pretty and was recently immortalized as a U.S. postal stamp.
It's a pretty amazing building, the deco style.
All right, so here's another little wrinkle to that story that they don't mention. So Hanna-Barbera, who created the Super Friends, was owned by, at the time, Taft Broadcasting, headquartered in Cincinnati. So therefore, the gentleman who drew Union Terminal had probably seen Union Terminal at a meeting at Taft Broadcasting and determined that to be a good kind of drawing for a big, grandiose place to be.
The first time I took my kiddos to the Children's Museum there, walking in, I made a reference to that, and I just, when I was going up this, I went, Zoyo, ni hayako! And they looked at me like I was having a seizure, but I felt better. Made a nice super.
Josh's comment there that says Papa John's also delivers to 50 Freeze from Hillsborough, so it's pretty nice to go get. I can remember like the first time I lived somewhere and I couldn't get delivery, but they would meet you at another place. Aric, do you remember, or Brady, you guys remember in Sardinia when maybe it was Domino's would meet you at Martin's? There was somewhere. Maybe it was Little C or Snappy Cicada Pizza from Mount Orb there. I think it was Snappy's.
Seaman.
Domino's in Georgetown.
There used to be a Snappy's in Mount Orb. Right?
Yeah,
right where the gas station is. It was a Sunoco right there beside where Arby's and Skyline and stuff are.
Oh,
there was a Snappy's
remember
there.
that.
Yeah, and it would deliver to Martin's parking lot.
Yeah.
I appreciate everything that Snappy's does for local sports and high schools and everything, but I kind of call it crappy tomato because it gives me the burps, man. It's got a lot of acid in that sauce.
Yeah,
Never had it.
I always liked it.
So back to what I had previously said, Taft Broadcasting owned the Super Friends, also owned Kings Island. So that's why there were
Hanna-Barbera land.
Yes, Hanna-Barbera land.
I wonder why they didn't do any Super Friends themed things in Hanna-Barbera land. It's probably got a DC Comics licensure thing. There was probably Knott's Berry Farm had a hold of them or something.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a couple. So he hate me 85. LaRose used to meet you at Martin's.
Yeah.
Chris, I used to work at Martin's, and there was a lot of people that would meet Snappy's delivery there. Yeah, I think there were a couple pizza places that would deliver there.
Domino's would deliver to St. Mary's in Arnheim.
Yes.
Coming from Georgetown. So,
yeah. Good old Martin's. Man, those were the days.
Martin's.
Martin's had an underrated bakery.
Oh, yeah. Bakery's solid. Better than Kroger's.
Oh, by far.
Yeah. And everything was made in-house.
Never will forget, they had the little, over to the side, they had that one little, the latest Martin's, when it moved out to 32 there.
Right.
They had right beside the deli and bakery area, they had just a little area where they had baked goods, and used to get me a jam cake. They were about 8-inch by 8-inch square jam cakes. Fantastic.
And weighed about 15 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
Thick.
Full of yam.
The icing on jam cake, I don't know what it was. It's like a tannish, light brown, sandy color.
Yeah.
But whatever it is, fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, the deli was awesome too.
Yeah, John says the Hanna-Barbera ride going into the TV at Kings Island was the best. Good way to cool down on a warm day as well. Had air conditioning in there.
Yeah.
All right, Aric, you want to stop right there and move on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Let me mark that. And by mark it, I mean remember it. Guys, remember we are on 15 of 24.
All right.
Gotcha,
I know that Chris will remember.
Yeah. All right. Once again, visit our website, playbyyourpodcast.com. Check out our isms, a little history of the podcast, past episodes, and whatnot. All right. So we are going to forge new territory here tonight.
I got my sucker.
Yeah.
Ready? You got your use box? Nice.
What the heck? It doesn't have a straw.
Blaspheme.
How
Oh,
you going to
we'll
make
it
do,
work.
man? Just make do. You can.
Suck on the
We'll do
box.
it leech style. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box?
All right. So, as I said, we're going to forge new territory here tonight. Generally, in this segment, we would play a game with the two co-hosts battling it out, and they have their accessories of choice with them tonight: the sucker and the juice box. Tonight, we've talked about several times doing a watch along, and generally, we've talked about doing that the way one of our shows we hold in very high esteem, Mystery Science Theater 3000. They watch movies and make commentary along the line. That's kind of what we're going to do here tonight. Actually, that is what we're going to do here tonight. And I'm sure the two co-hosts will fall in line. I've, of course, watched
We
this.
always fall in line.
Yeah. I've watched this show that we're going to watch before, even just on my own, not just preparing for this segment, but we are going to do a watch along of a 1979 episode of a game show called Three's a Crowd. And we'll just play the game show and we'll make comments as needed. I can even pause the show if we need to make an extended comment. But you see my little banner says the 70s were a unique time. And I kind of put that there in preparation for this particular segment. So again, the show is called Three's a Crowd. And as you can see, it was running reruns on the Game Show Network. But I'll start the show, and guys, audience as well, feel free to chime in as you wish.
Do you need to give us any history on what we're about ready to watch?
The premise of the game will be in the first 30-second blurb here that the announcer talks about what the game show is. So, but I will tell you, this game show was created by Chuck Barris, who also did the Gong Show,
and was in the CIA allegedly,
and was also creator of the Newlywed Game. So, again, yeah, it kind of gives you a premise of what we might be looking at here, a little bit of the absurd. So I will also go ahead.
So we're just like, we're adding commentary. Like there's no,
we're adding commentary. Whatever you feel you need to say about what you're going to see, go ahead.
And do we ask you to pause it before we speak?
Well, no, you can speak through it. I've mastered the I believe the volume of what's on the shared screen versus our volume, so we should be able to talk over top of it if we need to, and I can pause it if you want to make an extended comment of some sort. But again,
I do that.
But again, audience, also feel free to chime in, and I will say also as well, this was on regular TV. This was not something that was on cable or anything like that. The show only lasted 4 months. And I'm pretty sure you'll find out why pretty quickly as you watch the show. Okay. So with all that being said, Three's a
nervous.
Crowd.
Is anybody else nervous?
Nervous.
Maybe.
From the Chuck Barris stages in Hollywood, California, it's Three's a Crowd. Yes, it's Three's a Crowd. The game that determines who knows the husband best.
You got to love the movable platforms there.
They look like cardboard boxes.
Okay, you missed the premise here. So, who knows the husband better, his wife or his secretary?
Oh Lord! I think that guy's on vendor registries.
That guy's collar looks like one of those lizards where its sides flare out, the necks flare out.
He could hang glide with the best.
Whoa.
That's Paul Rudd.
Down the old oak tree, will you?
Let's welcome the remarkable Steve Randall.
Tony Rando.
What is his necklace?
And here's your host, the star of Freeze the Crowds, Jim Peck.
I better see what those skinny microphones.
Thank you.
Nope.
Thank you
That
very much.
hair could
Welcome to Freeze the
withstand
Crowd.
500 miles an hour and
Find out
not.
who really knows him best.
That man's hair is partless.
There's going to be a secretary. Well, whichever team does, the wives
This
or
was
the
like they're
secretaries,
rebranded
they
as
will divide
divorce court. Yes.
$1,000 between them. The excitement and fun.
Supposedly, this show calls 12
So
divorces
please
in
stay
4
with us.
months. There's no evidence of that,
Kids, have you heard about the brand new show?
but I've
Jeff?
got to
Well, it's
got to
just like
fast
Jeopardy.
forward here
Well,
because that
except the
has the
contestants are younger,
commercials.
and instead of playing for money, the contestants play for really cool prizes.
But it's kind of
And
funny to
sometimes when a
see some of
contestant makes a
the.
mistake, things get really.
Right.
Where did that
100%
dork?
made in America weighs only 8 pounds.
Got
From
got the
Aric
8-pound
Corporation,
Aric vacuum.
Merriam-Webster's collegiate
Good
dictionary.
old
The
Merriam.
population includes 100,000
On a
children
CD-ROM in
1,000
1979. I didn't remember those being
Merriam-Webster
available.
Incorporated. The Froggy Collection.
The only
featuring
thing you used
sizzling hot
computers to do back then was to
CD
play
by
Dr.
Froggy
David
Frogs
Larry
and
Bird.
Frogs of Summer.
Hold up,
The
hold
Froggy
up.
Christmas plus a
A
Frogs of
froggy Christmas and the froggy summer.
I don't
What?
remember that. Do you remember that?
I mean, I could see why. It doesn't look overly memorable. I mean, they didn't even use any frog puns there. Like it's just frogs with normal sayings. That's dumb.
Oh,
Well, you
man.
didn't listen to the CD. I mean, maybe it did have some frog puns in there.
They might have a
The
nice
Froggy
Reddit
Collection from
section.
Motorola Records.
Okay, come on, let's play Three's the Crowd. Husbands, as you know, your wives and secretaries are
That guy's
secluded
head's
off
too big
stage.
for his
Now, when they
shoulders.
return, they're going to be trying to match what you've said. Each question is worth 1 point. Remember, it's the secretaries against the wives for that big first cash
Tony
prize. Here's
Orlando.
your first question.
Are you
If you're
sure
ready,
they
gentlemen.
should be playing
What is
brown
the
chick, brown
juiciest
cow?
bit of gossip going around lately about your secretary? And I need you to please be specific. Steve, let's begin with you.
The juiciest bit of gossip going on would be how sometimes I have to deliver papers or pick up papers late at night, and sometimes
We're looking for
Delivering the papers
juiciest
late at
piece of
night.
gossip
Yeah.
about your secretary.
right, how I have to go over to her place to pick up papers. and sometimes,
That poor guy
Drop off
he
and
lost
things
the
like
left
that.
side of his
Okay, you have to
mustache.
go over to her
Like it-
place
Right.
that night. Okay, Jack?
little
What
off
about you?
tilt.
I think of mostly in
So,
her.
Chris,
she's in
That's the one you were calling Uncle Reed.
work, and she tries to get.
Why
Let
does
the
this
psychic
man
work
look like
out
he
on
was a
me.
mole in a previous
And,
life who's just
usually after
emerged from a
hours.
tunnel in Salt Lake?
He stole everything about George Jones except his
God, I
talent.
think it's about the umpteenth time she's gone back to her boyfriend.
Very good. Question number 2.
He was a
Gentlemen,
knothole
what
baseball coach in his day. I
high school
guarantee
thing
it.
Yeah.
your wife has ever done at home in the romance department? Jack?
Nope.
Whoopee.
Whoopee.
Unusual thing my wife has done in the romance department.
At home.
Bring the cat in the bedroom with us while we're
You know what that meant.
playing whoopee.
Okay.
Told you.
Yeah.
I guess she's doing her dance of Scheherazade when,
Doing,
you know, the veils and all that.
Oh, sure.
doing the Scheherazade's veil dance.
Yeah, I think so.
Steve? What about Dee Dee?
I guess about the strangest thing would be answering the telephone instead of just letting it ring, which I consider is pretty strange.
Picking up the paper and laying down the pipe.
Answers the telephone. Next question. Gentlemen, what is your secretary's bust size? And what is your wife's
What?
bust size?
I'm
Dick, we
telling
begin with
you.
First,
Why
your
do they need to
secretary's
know
bust
that?
size.
Lucky me, huh?
Yes.
Well, that's comparing apples to melons.
Secretary's first?
Yeah, Lynette's first.
You mean like a wild guess, right?
Yes, that is the premise. You
You're
hate me.
supposed to make jokes. I just
Exactly
listen
the
and watch the
premise.
joke.
34B. Okay, we'll just take the 34. What
Brady's
about
just
Ginny?
watching an episode,
I'd say she hits 34.
sucking
too.
his use box.
34.
Yeah.
Okay. And Steve?
Nadas, I'd say 34.
That is a fact,
34,
Gary.
and
Wives
Dee Dee's?
versus secretaries will come down to who
36.
draws their
36.
weapons first.
Jack? Linda's first?
Linda's is 36.
36. And Billie Jean?
She's 34.
She's not his
34.
lover.
We've
I'd
got
be-
them
I'd be in
tabulated. Thank you for
trouble
your
on that
answers. We
question.
will
I
be
couldn't
right
tell
back,
you.
and we'll find out how
Billie
well the
Jean is
secretaries
not-
know these guys. We'll do it right after this word, so stay with us.
Thank you, Eric.
I got it. I heard it. It's a slow burn.
Hey, what do you got there?
What is going on here? StreamYard throw a
They did. You
Yeah.
can skip it. You can skip it.
skip it. Yeah.
Skibbity toilet.
Come on.
StreamYard doesn't want us doing that. There we
The
go.
video game has over 200 games. Cool, 200 games?
That's right. Over 200 games can be yours with
That
Pro
doesn't have
200.
Tecmo Bowl in it. I don't want it.
Bargain in computer game history. 213 action-packed games.
I don't
all in
remember
this
the
one
game
compact
calculator.
unit.
I don't
And with
either.
10 new skill
It better have
levels for
some
each
form of
game,
Kong
there are
on
more
it.
than 2,000 exciting ways to play.
Or Cubert.
Now, only
Exciting
through this
ways.
very special TV offer, you
Or
can
Yar's
get the incredible
Revenge.
Pro 200 for
Only
just
$19.98.
$19.98.
I have the
Hard to
amateur
believe,
200
but
for
that's less than
$15
10 cents
instead.
per game. The fun will never stop. Play
quite
over
a-
20 Space Invader
Oh,
games.
yeah.
Try your
Oh,
luck
yeah.
at more than 40 pinball games.
Oh, yeah.
Or pick up a spare in 10 bowling games.
Oh,
Try
yeah.
your hand in 20 different boxing games. Or get behind the wheel in 45 varieties of car racing.
Car racing.
Much more. And remember, at $19.98, you'll get all this for less than 10 cents
That's
a
pretty
game.
lame,
The Pro 200 is
names
perfect
for
any
games.
age.
You can
And
play
because
games
the
like
game is
car
completely
racing.
portable, you can
Now, mind
take it on the
you-
go. Play it at a
Car
picnic,
racing.
in the car.
So
or
these
even
are
at
the
work.
commercials
This
from
state-of-the-art
Game Show
handheld
Network
computer
and
game
whatever year
combines the
that they
latest
were
computer
showing this
chip
episode,
technology,
not the 70s.
Well, look at
replacing
that
older
technology.
cartridge
It's
games
Crop
showing you
farm.
a circuit board. You know it's got to be
Never buy
good.
those expensive computer
Sidewalk
cartridges
sweeping.
again. You'll get the Pro 200 state-of-the-art computer game with over
Barn
200
painting.
games ready to play for only $19.98. That's
And
a
just
fraction
which
of what you pay
state
for
is
those
this
older
art?
systems with only
If
one.
you call that
DA
number
plus
right
shipping and
now,
handling
who
to
would
the address
answer?
on your screen. Supplies are limited, so call now.
Supplies are limited.
Welcome back to Threes
Oh,
and
my.
Crowd, and now it's
Are these
time for your
wives or
secretaries.
secretaries?
These are secretaries.
Oh, good Lord.
Friday. She claims the funniest thing about her boss is his face. Lynette
That means she hasn't seen him naked yet.
Seattle, Washington, and says that even though her boss acts rough and tough, he's
They
really
matched.
a pussycat. Linda
Oh, they do
Tremblay.
match.
I think Mom and Dad had a kitchen table and chairs that
What is
matched
she
that
wearing?
blouse.
Not enough money.
Oh, my.
She's from Urbana, Illinois. Nada Miller.
Somehow that outfit makes her look like her body's on backwards.
That looks like a sleeping gown.
Here comes old narrow shoulders.
Your answer, her team receives a point. The team
Next
with
time
no
we get to
points
the
wins
host,
the
She
game
looks
by
like
the
she's
cash
pausing.
prize of $1,000.
Want
She
to
looks like
pause?
she's a captive.
When if you get him squared up, he's not squared up. Pause it. Like no, the host. Like
Oh, the host.
yeah, like
going around
he even has
lately
shoulder pads in his and
about
he's real
you.
nary in the
I'd like you
shoulders.
to be very specific, and let's start with Lynette.
Probably that I am going out with a man at the office who is married.
That you're
Oh,
going
Lord.
out.
Nothing to see here, honey.
Dick told us that the juiciest bit of
All right,
gossip
Crystal
about you
Gale.
was that you're
Crystal
back with your
Gale.
boyfriend again.
Well, that's the married man.
It is a match.
She's
Jeff
a
says.
paragon of virtue.
That's a point.
Look at that. She just tongue punched his ear hole.
Is that Caitlin Clark?
What is the juiciest bit of gossip going around about you these days?
It must be the long lunches and the my excuses when I come back from long lunches don't always match up with what is expected. So it must be my long lunches.
Long lunch?
Long lunches, yes.
That guy's like when you say long lunches, you're talking about me, baby.
I walk in the door and scurry into the bathroom real quick.
She was
before
definitely
anybody sees
dining
me.
on something.
Maybe that's
And Jack told us it was that she tries to do psychic research with him after hours.
lunches. You know, that's after hours, before hours.
There's got to be a crystal balls joke in there somewhere.
What is the
Who
juiciest
thought
bit of
this was a
gossip
good idea?
Chuck
I would
Barris.
have to say all the presents and gifts that my boss brings into me.
What?
What?
All the presents and
She's
gifts.
not okay.
And he brings
Every day
into
I
her.
get something new.
Jack, Steve told us that it was that he had to go over to your house to work at night. Bring papers.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's one.
No match, however. Girls, what is the most unusual thing that your boss's wife has
There was
ever done at
James's
home
comment to that
in the
couple right
romance
there.
department?
Yeah.
Oh, my dear. You would have to ask me first. Oh, let me think. Well, BJ tells me lots of things in a way that would indicate that everything is marvelous and wonderful.
You don't
And
see
so
military
I would
green
say
and
that the
burnt
most
orange color
wildest thing,
combinations
is
in
that what
clothes
you
anymore.
want?
The most
that's
unusual
1979 at its
Vomit.
greatest.
done in the romance
They make it in the bathtub.
Whoopi?
The guy does look like George Jones.
Well,
he looks like the captain from Chips.
Jack told us the most unusual thing was that his wife brought the cat into the bedroom.
good old Bunnell.
Okay.
Nada, what is the most unusual thing that's
First off, you don't bring a cat anywhere. Cats
The
go where they
most
want to
unusual
go.
thing that
Right.
Steve's wife has ever done.
The guy looks like Paul Rudd of Paul
Is-
Rudd, where
Yeah.
he's Paul
had
Dud.
their dog sit beside them while they made love on the bed. The dog was watching everything. Okay.
What on earth am I watching?
Steve said it was that his wife answers the phone just about any
During?
time.
Just during.
Okay.
During what?
What is the most unusual thing that
You know
his wife
what?
has done?
Well, Jenny used to be a stripper. She's going to hate me for this. But
Who?
I think
His
it's
wife?
probably just when she does her all-out striptease act. I mean, the feathers and the whole bit, you know.
Look at the lipstick on the side of his face.
Does her striptease bit?
Yeah.
Dick told us the most unusual thing was, does an exotic dance with veils? Yes, we'll buy that. That's another point.
Oh God, this is making me so uncomfortable.
Next question, gals. What is your bust size, and what is your boss's wife's bust size? Nada, we'll begin with you. Yours first.
Do people just know this information about other people?
Maybe they did in 1979.
34 AA.
We'll just accept the 34. Nada. And Dee Dee's bust size?
Dee Dee's bust size would be 38.
A 38. And Steve told us that yours was a 34 and hers was a 36.
Close enough.
No match on that one.
Horseshoes and hand
Your
grenades,
bust
gentlemen.
size, please, and
And
Jane's
jarts.
bust size.
I would say both of our bust sizes are a 36.
36. And Dick said both of you were a 34.
So I'm confused. Is there a 36 multiple letters? Like the first lady was saying 34A or double A or whatever, but the rest of them just gave a number.
I don't know what the numbers mean.
Linda.
The numbers are the, I believe,
I have to get a little
the
closer.
circumference around the chest.
Linda, your bust size, please.
I think that Jack would say I'm 36.
36.
No,
and
but James, you
wife's
can
bust
surely
size?
pontoon it.
Jay's 34.
34. And Jack told us
There's
that
a man
you
in the
were
boat
a
somewhere.
36 and his wife was a 34.
You know who else he looks like? Don Shula.
Numbers are around, letters are the
So,
cup size.
according to Chris, Jim Peck looks like a 25-year-old Joe.
Right there.
Oh,
Some of our
sorry.
guests
Hold
at
on, I
Freeze
can
and Drive
back
will receive
it up.
Turtle Extra Car Wax.
Some gifts for a runner-up.
Does he seem narrow in the shoulders, but then like, is it
He's
just
got
the
a
suit?
tiny little
What's going
pencil neck.
on? Yeah, but like, I don't know. It's weird. I mean, obviously, we're perfectly proportioned, so we can make fun of this guy all we want.
Our
Right.
Adonis-like proportions and symmetry.
You got some
Uh,
comments, Aric.
Yeah, we do have a lot of comments. Gary says, I would say this was going downhill, but it started too low. Chris says, we're all going to lose it if one of these secretaries makes a comment about one of the guys having low-hanging fruit. Celia spotted the grip. I don't know which one she was talking about there because I think
all of them,
those couples
all of them
together
look comfortable anyway.
So while we're
Six
paused, I'm sticking to this. The one on the far left is aggressively going after her boss for the money.
You
Because
think?
he looks sheepish and all shucks, and she looks like she has a plan. The one in the middle might be a victim of unfortunate circumstance. He looks uncomfortable and she seems somewhat proficient. The one on the right, judging by his mustache, he keeps her captive against her will, and she looks like she's been taking Quaaludes or something. It's the 70s, and she looks like she's a captive, and she's not all there.
Okay, this is totally off topic here, but you said the 70s. So I was reading the Brown County Press today, looking at the court who had been indicted by the grand jury. Someone was indicted for dealing in hashish.
Hashish?
And I'm thinking, was this 1973 or what?
Sure it wasn't angel dust?
Or PCP?
Prepisapoline. You know what this stuff does to kids? You remember what movie that's from?
I don't.
Trading Places.
Oh,
yeah. Right. So Celia has a description of what the sizes are and what those mean, those numbers and letters and things.
So, for you listening at home, maybe the people listening at home, you didn't read the comment. Numbers are around, letters are the cup size. There you go. We aim to educate on this show.
Yes, we do. Gary says the winner
you never
gets
know
an
when you're going to find yourself on a game show talking about your secretary. And
well, I mean, you might have to go out and buy your grandma a brassiere or something. You never know.
Oh, Lord.
Gary says the winner gets an all expense paid weekend in Vegas with his choice of wife or secretary.
Or both.
Oh.
What's up? And for all of our husbands, Johnny.
Some of our guests on Three's a Crowd will receive Turtle Extra Car Wax.
Herb
Extra
Alpert
Easy,
and the
Extra
Tijuana
Turtle
brass
Extra
provide
the old
Extra
turtle
Car
wax.
In liquid.
This is Turtle Wax, I don't think. Is it Turtle
And
Wax?
for Mr. Coffee, a gift pack featuring America's number
Turtle
one
Extra.
coffee maker, genuine
Mr.
Mr.
Taffy
Coffee
with
accessories, including
Joe
an extra
DiMaggio.
decanter and Mr. Coffee filters. And Hollywood Safflower Oil,
that?
higher and polyunsaturates and other oils. Hollywood Safflower Oil contains no cholesterol from Hollywood Foods. Now back to Jim Peck and Three's a Crowd.
Now let's meet our wives on Three's a Crowd.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Now I get why it's called Three's a Crowd.
There you go.
She's Ginny Logan. Wife number 2's favorite pastime is cooking. She's from Hollywood, California, and she enjoys bowling and square dancing. Billie Jean Fraser.
Poor man's Farrah Fawcett right there.
Wife number 3 is currently employed as an admitting clerk at a hospital. She's into dune buggies and animal training. Welcome, D.D. Randall. Now here's Jim.
Dune buggies and what?
Hello, wives. As you know, every time you match your husband's answer, you will receive a point. The team with the most points at the end of the game will divide that cash prize of $1,000.
I'm watching body language here. I don't think the one in the middle, there's nothing funny going on.
Gossip going around these days about your husband's secretary. And Dee Dee, let's start with you.
My husband's secretary. That she likes to go out with my husband a lot.
Oh
my.
And
She
Steve,
likes him personally, I think. I got a problem.
Steve told us that the juiciest bit of gossip was that he had to visit her house to work at night.
Why would you do a thing like that?
We're trying to wrap up the papers and things.
How often does this go on?
When I'm late.
Well, how often, sweetheart?
Oh my God, this is horrible.
Go ahead, sweetheart, you can answer.
I'm not
Data told us the juiciest bit of gossip was all the presents that Steve gives to her.
You gotta be kidding. You give my husband presents. You give her presents.
Not me.
You give me presents for all the things.
So there's a third lady someplace who's getting presents that neither one of these.
What do you give her? You don't give me any. I do all the work. What kind of work now? I don't think she's gonna be much of a secretary.
Billie Jean, I'd like. Yes, weren't we all?
Did she say secretary?
There's going to be a feline brawl
my
here.
gosh, she's so perfect. But the only thing I can really think of is the fact that she has her own little side thing, and she goes to the Philippines a couple of times a year by herself. I mean, she has other people, but by herself.
They all match.
Okay, Jack told us the juiciest bit of gossip
Oh, look
was
at that side
she
eye.
tries to psych him up after hours?
What?
Where's she go to the Philippines for?
What's psyching up
Well, she goes to
entail?
the Philippines for this psychological thing she practices.
That's psychic surgery.
So he's a good bit older than them,
The
isn't
juiciest
he?
bit of gossip was
Looks like it.
her long lunches and bad excuses.
With who?
Sorry, wife is more attractive than secretary.
Okay, Jimmy.
Because she's got the Farrah Fawcett.
That's what I was thinking too.
What do you call it? Feathered hair.
The wife and the secretary look similar.
I can see that.
Means I think he's the banana. And she went back to it. And I think
She
it's
thinks
pretty
he's the banana?
What's so juicy about it?
I can't argue with her.
Dick told us the juiciest bit of gossip was that she's back with her boyfriend again, which is a match.
Hey.
That's a match. And
Now,
Lynette
didn't they
admitted
say that
juiciest
this
bit of
wife
gossip
was
about her
a
that she's
was
going
an
out with a
exotic
married
dancer?
man.
The boyfriend.
Yeah, one time.
Banana.
He's still married?
It's a winner.
I told you it was a banana.
Next
I'm
question.
confused about the
bananas.
banana comment.
Unusual thing that you
All right, hold on. I got to get comment. The comments are coming fast and furious here. Let's see. Josh said the first segment was more awkward than listening to Friday. Gary's wondering how they got sponsors. I mean, 1979, you know, it's
Mr. Coffee
Cornell
sponsored
and
everybody
Cornell
back then.
divorced.
true. Josh says it's interesting to see who the husband is sitting closer to.
Well, from that pause right there, the guy in the middle, they're both kind of snug against him.
Uh-huh.
On the left, he's sitting closer to the secretary.
Yes.
On the right, he's sitting closer to the wife.
Yes. Does that give you any indication of what might be going on there?
Or is it just balance for the TV, like, did they tell them, you know what I mean? Did they tell them where to sit?
I'm telling you, I stick behind it. The one in the middle, there's nothing untoward going on. The left and the right, there's all kinds of kinds of stuff.
Do we get to find out at the end of the show who's sleeping with who?
Well, you get to find out who answered the most questions correctly, who knows the husband better, the wife or the secretary.
But isn't there an argument to be made that, I mean, the term work wife can be somewhat innocent?
Oh, yeah.
You know,
maybe not in 1979. But
yeah.
I don't know.
So April said about the chess thing. I would think they would have wanted the letter, like anyone could look and take an educated guess of the other. But to know the number is a little bit more difficult.
Well, April, that was what was throwing me off, because the first person guessed the number and the letter, and then from there on, they only guessed the number. Gary disagrees with Brady. I'm sorry, I didn't know you were still going down.
Yeah, Jim says three's a crowd, especially in divorce courts.
Yeah.
Gary says they suck at gossip. The wife didn't even know. And some people have said this, Chris, that this is where Jerry Springer got the basic plot of his show. That this was kind of the first sort of this untoward thing on TV. See what he says. This should be called "Let's Get a Divorce."
There's
the
middle thruple.
This
is the one to watch.
And I'll go along with Gary. I think the middle one. I think there's synergy both ways.
Well, I think
maybe the other two.
It's not been manifested yet. There might be tension.
It's that George Jones hair and glasses, man. It's got the women in a tizzy.
I don't know if he's going to sing a country song or call a fullback shuffle down the middle between the tackles because he looks like Don Shula.
Well, let's look at these guys' attire. So first off, the guy in the middle, again, he has the army green, burnt orange combo.
And I bet they have a kitchen set and all the appliances are in avocado.
Well, and also, did they not tell him what color the backdrop was going to be? Because his shirt blends right in with the backdrop.
That is true.
The red. Yeah. And then so does the secretary on the right.
Oh.
And then the secretary on the left. and the wife on the right, kind of. But notice the guy on the right has the only tan suit.
Notice the wife on the far right looks like it could be a Prince impersonator. Check out that hair and the purple getup.
Yeah. I like how James calls her Big Perm.
Definitely being cheated on.
Big Perm.
Personally,
Courtesy
have
of
you ever done
Ogilvy.
At home in the romance department. Billie Jean will
Lord.
begin with you.
Oh, no. It's pretty dull in here.
Which is why he's never mind.
You got to appreciate the brown hair and the Snow White
Sideburns.
Most unusual thing, Billie Jean, that you personally have done.
Oh, me personally. Tried to seduce him on the stairs.
That old chestnut.
That was handy.
I guess Jack would be the judge of that. Jack.
Gary, are you saying Big Perm is Prince's mom?
What'd he say?
Cat into the bedroom.
Gary said Prince's mom. Was he talking about Big Perm?
Okay, so pause this a second.
Hold on.
So she says, I can't remember the question, how it was worded, but something about a move that she made, right? And she says, I tried to seduce him on the stairs.
Right.
He says she brings the cat into the bedroom.
Well, never mind.
That's quite a difference. And another thing, I don't understand there's got to be more to that story. I think she brings the cat to the bedroom. I'm assuming the cat just comes to the bedroom anyway.
Well, not to shut the door.
What?
I think she was getting ready to explain. Can you back it up just a couple seconds, Aric, so we can hear what...
She got it right.
Tried to seduce him on the stairs.
With a cat.
Wrong place, my dear. That was handy.
I guess Jack would be the judge of that. Jack.
What about a handy?
Jack said the most unusual thing was that you brought the cat into the bedroom.
That's true. It's cold.
She was cold.
Cats don't get cold.
And Linda said the most unusual thing you ever did was, let's take a look, Linda. You make whoopee in the bathtub.
And a big
cat euphemism?
I don't know how she found that one out.
You got a big mouth.
Jenny,
Well,
what is the most unusual thing you
pause
have
it a
done
second.
personally
So
in the romance department at home?
have you noticed, and maybe I've missed it, so have you noticed that there's no, what's the game? What's the other Newlywed Game?
Yeah.
How when they get it right, they give each other a big old kiss and hug and stuff like that. These husbands and wives don't seem to be doing that.
No,
they don't.
The only lipstick that's been exchanged is the secretary to the boss. Because he had the lipstick mark on the on her jowl line.
James.
You never heard that one, Todd? No, it was Zsa Zsa Gabor. She was on the Tonight Show, and she had a cat.
Oh.
Wait, we got what's with the peanut butter joke? April.
Yeah, I didn't know what she was referring.
It was a cat, not a dog.
Stop.
Oh.
This is the most confusing show I've ever watched in my life because I can't quite understand who's trying to win. I would think the husbands would want to lose.
Well, the husbands, they're not in the game. They're providing answers. They don't get to win or lose. It's the wives of the secretaries.
Oh, I'm pretty sure they're winning and losing here.
Well,
right in front of our eyes.
Or they could be losing double. I don't know, or winning double.
Losing double D.
The guy on the far left here, that we're looking at right now on the screen, he looks so sheepish. He look at that face.
See, Brady, but I think he's sneaking up on you. I think he is definitely a player.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. He's a player.
I thought you were saying, okay, so
No.
sheepish as in he's
so busted. Look at that face. Look at that.
Yeah. He looks like he might be wealthy. What did it say? What he did?
Tell Lynette.
I don't know exactly what it was.
Constant.
What?
I'm consistent, constant, all the time. That's, kinky, huh?
All the time.
He's pooped. When he tells her, I'm pooped.
Dick told us that the most unusual thing was that exotic Scheherazade dance with the dropping of the veils.
Oh, gee, I don't remember that.
She's spooned.
I think that look was serious. I think that look was serious.
Yes, Lynette, come on. The exotic dance with the veils.
See, I don't buy this. I think those ladies are friends.
Not at home. We like going to X-rated motels.
Got Neil Shepard here.
I like the movies.
I need something at home, Dee Dee.
At home, we don't have them. I guess because I want him all the time, and he tries to fight me.
That you want him all the time. Steve told us the most unusual thing was that you answer the phone, even.
What?
You answer the telephone no matter when it rings.
I do not.
Oh,
You
really?
answer it. It's on
yeah.
your side of the bed.
Nada said the most unusual thing was that you brought the dog in to watch.
Gabriel.
StreamYard.
Everything likes peanut butter. That should be on a hat.
No.
All right. Well, we can get the comments during the commercials. Yeah, April says everything likes peanut butter. Josh says, Todd, the nature of the game is the husband is losing.
Yeah.
Jim, the husband is definitely losing half.
Yeah.
Gary, the guy on the left wishes he had his girlfriend with him also.
She enjoys watching. She's very intelligent.
We'll be right back to ask our
See, this is fake. This is why the show got canceled. It's fake. These women know each other.
We got to make the money
You think?
somewhere.
I think it's rehearsed.
All play,
At
all day,
first,
plus a free
I was
commercial.
detecting authenticity, but as the game's going on, it doesn't feel.
Introducing Glade votive candles.
I didn't realize Glade. Is this the 70s?
Well, no, the commercials are from Game Show Network whenever it was showing this episode, which
okay.
probably was the early
bed,
2000s
Todd?
or something.
Gosh, look at that bedspread.
It's for bed.
Yeah, this is from the 70s.
You just got it, Todd.
Oh, Bob Fortuna.
A lightweight, high-performance sewing machine for everyone who loves to sew.
Somebody's going to be needing a new home after this show.
No one sews anymore.
So,
well, James, this was $1,000. Actually, it was $333 because all the wives or all the secretaries divided the $1,000.
Wives, here
But
is
it's
your
even
final
worse than
question. Ladies, 2 parts. What is your husband's secretary's bust size, and what is your bust size? Please, Judy.
Lynette's best size.
size them up.
Need an answer, hon.
Size right. Move your hair a little, Lynette.
Is
Yeah, put the hair back.
38, and yours?
She looks like Adrienne Barbeau.
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
from Swamp Thing.
36. Lynette, 38, you 36.
She's
Dick said
intoxicated. She's on drugs.
you were both a 34.
Well, very well could have been either one in 1979.
What did you used to go with? Holstein?
What did she say?
What do you used to go with? Holsteins?
Haven't you ever seen a teeth before?
Billie Jean.
I don't know why I should say this, but he better get this right. We are both 36.
You are both 36. And Jack
Why
said
would he want to
that
get the secretary right?
You were 36.
He's like, nope.
That's a good
Linda was a
answer.
34.
That's a good answer on his part.
No match in that one.
He could justify that to the wife. Hey, I don't know.
The lady
about that.
is going to say something sideways. She's going to be like, is speed right a bus size or something like that? She's playing for keeps.
You are in trouble.
You're well on your way. Linda said.
Barbara Mandrell's yelling at him.
Hers was a 36, and you were a 34.
What is this whole discussion we're
Now
having
you're in
for
trouble.
one day in the car?
Dee Dee, what is Nada's bust size and what is yours? Nada's first, please.
Nada's first?
Yes.
Okay, I am a little bigger. Not too much, but a little.
Okay,
Nada would
looking
be
at her.
about a 34. B.
And you?
36B.
36. And Steve told us that Nada was a 34 and you were a 36. That's a point for the wife.
Point for the wife.
See, that nonsense.
Nada said what? Let me take a look. That she was a 34 and you were a 38.
I'm not that big. I wish I was. I know.
Let's take a look at the scores. We've got the Y's with 2 points, the secretaries with 3 points. And that means our secretaries will be dividing the $1,000 cash prize.
$333.33.
Which is,
Please, the crowd. See what happens. Bye-bye, everybody.
I just looked it up, what it is. So $1,000 in 1979 is equivalent to $4,318.
Nice. Turtle
You're
wax.
awful.
That's it?
Did I see where Chloraseptic was a sponsor?
Chloraseptic was.
No, that was Cloris Leachman. No, that's it. That's abruptly. There's
it.
no final round. There's no.
Well, there's the final question. He went away to commercial before the final question.
I thought it was done.
No,
Is it
well, I
over?
mean, it's over now. Yeah. The final question was the one about the size.
Wow,
But shouldn't
this
that
was a
question-
poorly produced show.
Shouldn't there be a question that's worth double, like a Kyle King rule or something in effect? Like for
Well, I would think that would be apropos. But again, the show only lasted 4 months. There's probably many reasons why the show only lasted 4 months.
April says I would go on a show like this with James Flower's secretary. What's her bust size, April?
Oh, easy.
I'm afraid what the answer is going to be to this.
Because I have no idea.
I've been in services with April. I think you just opened up a can.
I've never been one to shy away from cans.
So Gary at first said the wife on the right doesn't care a bit, just enjoying the camera time. Then he said the wife on the left doesn't care a bit, just loving the camera time. Celia, so did this show end because one of the wives eventually killed either a husband or a secretary? Supposedly, this show calls 12 divorces in 4 months.
See,
4 months. Wow.
Here's what I think happened. And it was just the 70s, so nobody could say it. I think the secretary and the wives were having an affair. I'm just going to say it. I think that's what was going on.
Man. I'm at a loss.
Josh,
Okay.
hold on, Brady. Josh, that's a valid question. April, are you the driving school secretary?
I
Maybe
think
she's
that's where
talking
she
about
was going.
herself. Is that okay? James wants to see the fights backstage. Can't we
See-
get a cameraman to chase them out like Maury has?
Okay, so
Here's
let's
what you
get
guys.
into- Go ahead, Todd. Sorry.
I just want to say they just suckered all of us because that was all put on just to make some money and it failed because the show didn't last, obviously. But that was all put on. There's no way.
Well, here's why it failed. I mean, I know it's the 70s, everything, but the production, there was not a clearly stated plot. It was kind of twisted in the wind. And like the ending was just so abrupt. They didn't even change the background or anything. There wasn't a change in music. There wasn't anything to signify, okay, this is the important one. It just kind of went through willy-nilly.
And you know why? The biggest reason it failed? The host.
Jim Peck? Are you blaming Jim Peck?
I'm blaming Jim Peck. He's no Chuck Woolery. He's no Bob Eubanks. He's no Richard Dawson. He's no Ray Combs. He's no Bob Bob Barker.
Okay, so something about Jim Peck in doing some research on this show. Supposedly he hated the show and he hated the premise. And he said that there were some of these shows where the relationships broke up during the show. That some of these people decided were done during the show itself. He never talked to anybody on the show, like any of the contestants. He would go lock himself in his dressing room and then come out when it was time to come out.
Well, I mean, look at Gary's comment. The last one, his last comment.
That's pretty poignant.
Well, that is true. I don't think it caused any divorces, just expedited the process.
Which is kind of what you just said. I mean, he said that like some of them were actually happened on that show. Some of the this is it.
Yeah. So.
But okay, so that show only works, and by works I mean for 4 months or however long you said it worked for, in the day of the secretary.
Yes.
You know what I'm getting at? Like there, like like the same era of lunch business meetings was a bourbon, like like
martini lunches.
Yeah, martini lunches, and people had like actual drinks in their offices and things like that. That's the only way all of that works.
Oh well, in the days before sexual harassment was a thing,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Well, I'm not sure it's harassing who in those things. I mean, in those.
Well, there's that. But so Jim Peck, on another note, took over for Jack Barry when he died on The Joker's Wild.
Oh.
So he was
bigger shoulder pads.
He was supposed to. He kind of served as a substitute. Jack Barry had been ill. He was on The Joker's Wild, but when he actually died, they hired Bill Cullen to take over. So,
okay, so how did you are there multiple episodes of this available, or is this the only?
There are a few,
because I can't imagine. I know that the Springerification of television audiences. But I could just imagine the 70s, how cringy. I can imagine my grandma Fulton watching this show when on TV and just getting all uncomfortable.
Well, and that's saying something. Like I said, it lasted 4 months in 1979. That's how cringy it was.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it just some way for us to go off the beaten path and do something different. I think
that was enjoyable.
April says James sexually harasses his secretary all the time. I'm starting to think that April's James's secretary.
If not, we've caused a problem on this show.
Yeah, I would watch this show. So we should just have a show where it's James and April. It's their, it's.
So we comment on James and April.
Their daily doings.
Ooh. Gary said they renamed the show The Joker's Mild when Jim Peck hosted it. So yeah.
I had a problem with the host. First off, you got to have a part somewhere in your hair. I mean, you can't just have.
Well, he had an afro at the beginning of the show. Over 4 months, that's what he morphed into. He had an afro to start out with.
His hair fell out.
He was. And I know that talk show hosts in general were pretty small in stature. I mean, Ray Combs, Bob Eubanks. I mean, they didn't get real big guys.
Yeah.
But he just something about
Gene
him.
Rayburn and Bob Barker were tallish.
Yeah. I mean, his suit wasn't fit. Something was off with his suit. And he did not have one of the skinny long microphones that you held like this. With your pinky out, like a fancy tea drinker.
Yeah, and his tie was too wide for that suit, but I know
it didn't size him up right. You had the
No.
partless hair.
1979, every tie was wide.
True.
He kind of looks like a bobblehead.
Oh, Celia.
That's
Chuck
true.
Griffin had amazing hair. Did not have a part. That's true.
Yeah, well, because Chuck Griffin had Bob Eubanks hair.
True.
Wind tunnel tested. And Chuck Woolery hair.
Yes. Maybe
Now that
Jim
I think
Peck was
about it,
trying for that look.
Now that I think about it, not many talk show hosts did have parts. But here's the difference.
Bob Barker had a part.
Yeah. Ray Combs had a part.
Gene Rayburn had did Gene Rayburn have
Had
sometimes he
JJ
had a part.
But here's the difference. Chuck Woolery, Bob Eubanks, Chuck Griffin at least had the shape, like the slightly receding, where you get that
the widow's
shape.
peak.
His was like straight across.
Yeah.
His was like a chia pet.
Gary says literally wind tunnel tested.
Literally.
Yes.
I mean,
People don't know we had a wind tunnel put in the back of our house on Staten Road so Dad could go back there and get ready for gatherings.
I mean, it almost looked like high quality polyurethane brought to you by the folks in Monsanto kind of look.
That guy's hair looked like, do you know, like the paint brushes that are just the foam pad brushes? That's what that guy's hair looked like it was made out of.
True.
Yeah.
Now
All
the
right,
George Jones guy, he had hella good hair.
Yeah, he did.
Actually, all of the guys had good hair.
Yeah.
Even Tony Orlando had good hair.
Paul Rudd.
Paul Dudd.
Paul Dudd. Well, I think everyone enjoyed that, audience included. We didn't lose anybody during all that. It stayed at 18 people. I mean,
It was a train wreck, but it was a glorious train wreck.
well, right. That's why I told you. I said, you will watch this, and I want your impressions of it to be organic. And that's what it was. It was a train wreck. It was uncomfortable. And I'll say it. I took this from John Boy because they have a little deal and they watch this show as well. And they said exactly what Brady said. John Boy did. He said, I'm so uncomfortable watching this.
Who's John Boy? John Boy Walton?
No. John Boy, they do breakdowns of sports
Voiceovers.
clips and reading lips and things. You have to look at JOMBOY. It's outstanding stuff.
It is pretty good.
Like
I've not
baseball
seen it.
coaches will run out and get in arguments with umpires, and you'll slow the video down and read their lips and what they're saying. It's funny.
Well, what will be here will be we should do this. If anybody listening wants to, what's it called? Crowdfunding, crowd surfing. What the hell is it called?
Crowdsourcing.
Crowdsourcing.
Crowd surfing.
It's a different thing.
We should get some money together and reshoot that show. We should bring that show back.
You can't do that show in 2024. There's no way.
I think the tides are turning a little bit. We've seen some of the. I mean,
not that much.
I think they're getting there. We saw the Tom Brady roast. We
Yeah.
saw we're seeing comedy be comedy again, where people can actually joke, because that's what they are, jokes. I think we could do that show, but we don't do it seriously. We hire actors.
Kind of like Juvenile Court that used to be on Saturday
Court.
evenings where it was reenactment.
No,
of
Sunday
Juvenile Court.
mornings. It was Sunday mornings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gary, freeze aloud. Just call it 3.
A thruple.
You remember the theme to Juvenile Court, Brady?
Not the first 3 times I went.
I think James,
I remember it.
Are you looking to get a divorce?
Man.
Good fun. Good fun.
Never say never, James.
Yeah, Celia will never say never.
Well, I'm not listening to her talking the other. Well, I just heard her. She said something.
She'll have something to say.
A projectile came flying through the.
I think the take of the night is Gold Star's better than Skyline.
No. I don't.
Nobody gives a crap about the baby hippo at the zoo.
Speak for yourself.
And UDF over graders all day long.
Maybe that's Todd Griffin's takes of the night.
My take of the night. And Tony Orlando's woman was actually, she was angry at that lady.
I think so.
But I'll be honest with you, and this is where the very end of the show and I get myself canceled. She was I think she was very generous with the secretary's size.
Yes. Well, I mean, the secretary set her own size.
Well, but I'm saying that's true. But like, I was seriously waiting for like a mosquito bite joke or reference or something because of the other things she was saying to her. You know, I mean, she was not being very pleasant to her. Huh? But a titsy fly joke, if you will.
Yeah.
And I was waiting for it. And she actually ended up saying, like, we're similar in size. And I'll be honest with you, I thought the wife
was polite.
No, I thought she was larger than the secretary.
Yeah.
So I think she chickened out when she really could have gone for the juggler there when she asked about the bra size or whatever, and she said we're similar in size, and I don't think they were.
The wife would have jumped up and said, "Let's go crazy!" Right before
which makes me think that it was a put on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see what I did there with "Let's Go Crazy"?
Yeah, I did. I chose to zoom right on by it.
Okay.
Say, as I'm afraid, are you coming to get me?
You keep looking behind you. You keep looking behind you.
Well, because here, what you guys don't see is I'm in a room with a lamp, and then I have glass like office doors here, and on the other side is just pitch black. And so I would not even know it if she were like right there up again the glass, waiting to.
She could sneak up and give you a fruit basket, and you not even know it.
All right,
we got a pineapple, Josh. I think the pineapple is supposed to be upside down. I don't really know. I'm just guessing. Upside down pineapple.
All right. I'm going to be honest. I've got to go to the bathroom, so we got to get this thing over with.
Go. Skin her back.
Audio, Spotify, Apple, iHeart, and the iHeartRadio app. And most
You like those commercials?
Good
night.
Video, Spotify, YouTube, Twitch. Social medias, Facebook, X, Instagrams, all links on our website. Interact with us by email, admin@playitbyyourpodcast.com. Leave a voice message. You can click the link at your podcast provider or on our website. Anything else, gentlemen?
Hey, maybe we can get 2 in a row. Can we get 2 in a row maybe next week?
Maybe.
We'll see.
We'll see.
How many episodes of this show, Aric, are there?
4 months. I think it ran every day. So, I mean, there's several
Every day?
episodes. I don't know that I can find any that are recorded, though.
It doesn't have to be this show.
There's our summer.
We
can do a watch along and in the heat of the night or something.
Well, that Brady. That would be bombarded.
If you guys want to put things forward to have a watch along, I'm game.
What I was going to say is we could do one of the cheesy old movies like they do in Mystery Science, but we just wouldn't have another topic. That would last about.
We can talk about it. Yeah. We've forged ahead with it tonight, and we'll go to another level at some point.
So tell us, audience. I know Eric's Onion's about ready to pop here, but and
you all keep talking.
Yeah, well, just audience, let us know if you like the watch along concept. I think we'd kind of like.
Well, again, no one left the room.
I
think it's good. No one left the room.
Eric's spleen's getting moist.
Don't say it. Take us out, please.
He's gonna yak and urine at the same time.
Thanks for listening to the Play It By Ear podcast. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter @Play It By Ear Pod 2, and our website at anchor.fm/Play It By Ear podcast. Thanks again, and join us next time as we play it by ear.